Trae Young is not just a point guard, he is Atlanta's entire offensive operating system. The ball starts with him, the action bends around him, and almost every possession depends on his decision. His career usage rate sits around 31.9%, while his assist rate is over 44%, meaning he creates nearly half of his teammates' made shots when he is on the floor. That is absurd control for a guard his size. He launches deep threes, manipulates traps, lives at the free throw line, and still keeps his true shooting around the high 50s despite one of the hardest shot diets in the league. But the other end is where the bill comes due. At 6'1" and roughly 164 to 180 pounds, he becomes a target in switches. His defensive metrics have repeatedly fallen near the bottom tier. Atlanta gets a historic offensive engine, but one that opponents hunt every single night. Matisse Thybulle is the opposite kind of one-way player. He does not take over possessions with the ball. He damages them without touching it. At his best, he is a defensive trap disguised as a wing jumping passing lanes, blocking jumpers from behind and turning ordinary ball movement into panic. Per 36 minutes, he has produced over 2 steals and 1 block, a rare combination for a perimeter defender. Coaches trust him against elite guards and wings because his timing is strange, his recovery speed is real, and his hands are always active. But offensively, the floor shrinks around him. Defenses help off him without fear. His shooting volume has never forced serious respect, and his creation game is almost non-existent. He is not bending a defense. He is not running actions. He is not giving you scalable scoring. Thybulle can wreck an opponent's offense, but his own team must survive his limitations. Luka Dončić is what happens when one player becomes the whole offense, and the rest of the roster becomes the supporting software. His usage regularly lives in the mid-third, which means he is not just scoring. He is choosing who gets to score next. Step-back threes, bully ball post-ups, slow-motion pick-and-roll reads, cross-court passes through traffic, everything runs through him. His offensive BPM has reached superstar territory, and even with brutal shot difficulty, his true shooting stays strong because he controls pace like nobody else. But that level of control has a cost. On defense, Luka is not a total disaster, but he is not consistent either. Faster guards can turn the corner on him. Transition possessions expose him. Off-ball focus comes and goes. He has the body to survive matchups, but the energy is spent on offense first. That makes him brilliant, but clearly tilted. Herb Jones is the kind of defender who makes offense feel crowded before the play even develops. He guards lead guards' wings and small forwards without needing the scheme to protect him. His value comes from details most casual viewers miss: sharp closeouts, clean screen navigation, early rotations, long arms in passing lanes, and contests that somehow avoid fouls. He averages real steal production for a wing, adds weak side rim contests, and gives coaches a matchup answer when the other team's best scorer starts hunting switches. But the problem is clear on the other end. Herb is not a natural shot creator. His scoring volume is low, his pull-up game is limited, and when the jumper is not falling, defenders are happy to leave him alone. He can cut, run, finish, and hit occasional spot-ups, but he does not bend the floor. His defense travels everywhere. His offense still needs help. Bradley Beal's prime was built on pressure. Not defensive pressure, scoring pressure. For multiple seasons, he carried Washington's offense like a one-man emergency plan, putting up back-to-back 30-point-per-game years and forcing defenses to load up before he even crossed the arc. He could score from 3 levels attack out of pick-and-roll punish switches and create enough for others to keep the offense alive. That kind of shot-making made him look like a franchise centerpiece. But the defensive numbers always complicated the picture. When Beal was on the floor in recent samples, team defense often slipped badly with on-off swings that were hard to ignore. He was not a steals machine. He was not a rim deterrent. He struggled fighting over screens and staying attached to bigger wings. The scoring was undeniable. The problem was that every bucket came with a question: how much was being given back? Rudy Gobert is a one-way player in the most expensive possible form, a defense so massive that entire schemes are built around it. He does not just block shots. He changes the geography of the floor. Guards hesitate before driving wings pull up earlier and teammates press higher because they know the paint has a 7-foot insurance policy waiting behind them. Gobert has stacked Defensive Player of the Year season's elite rebounding numbers and rim protection that rarely shows up fully in a box score. But offensively, everything gets narrow. He scores efficiently because almost everything is a dunk lob putback or assisted finish. There is no pull-up jumper, no post creation, no range, and no real gravity beyond the restricted area. In the playoffs, that limitation becomes louder. His defense can anchor a season. His offense can shrink a possession. Quick subscribe if you like fast NBA breakdowns. Zach LaVine looks like the kind of athlete who should dominate both ends. That is what makes his profile so frustrating. Offensively, the tools are beautiful. He can explode to the rim, rise into pull-up jumpers, shoot off the dribble, and punish defenses before they are fully set. Across multiple seasons, he has lived above 24 points per game with strong, true shooting and near 50 40-80 flashes at his peak. He is not just a dunk contest highlight. He is a real three-level scorer. But defense has never matched the body. The athleticism is there. The focus is not always there. He loses cutters, dies on screens, rotates late, and too often plays defense like the possession is happening 1 second faster than his recognition. That gap is why coaches keep needing stoppers behind him and rim protection waiting underneath. Teams do not question whether LaVine can score. They question whether a roster can survive everything that happens when he is not. Mitchell Robinson is what happens when a player's value is brutally clear and brutally limited at the same time. Around the rim, he is efficient because he almost never does anything outside his lane. Lobs, putbacks, dump-offs, offensive rebounds, that is the entire menu. His field goal percentage can sit near 70%, but it does not mean he is a complete offensive weapon. He is not creating shots, stretching defenses, making plays, or forcing big men to guard in space. But defensively, the story flips. Robinson gives you size, wingspan, verticality, and elite rebounding. He can erase drives, challenge shots without fouling, and end possessions by controlling the glass. His offensive rebounding also creates extra chances, which gives him hidden value, even without real scoring skill. The problem comes when playoff defenses ignore him, clog the floor, and dare someone else to create. Robinson protects the rim. He does not expand the game. Jordan Clarkson's job has never been mysterious. He enters the game to create points before the offense goes cold. That is why his 2021 Sixth Man of the Year award fits him perfectly. He is a bench scorer in the purest form. Pull-up jumpers, quick drives, difficult floaters, and possessions where the first good shot might simply be the shot he decides to take. His usage has often sat in the low to mid-20s high for a reserve, because second units need someone willing to manufacture offense without structure. But the trade-off is obvious. Clarkson is not a defensive organizer, not a stopper, and not someone coaches want taking the hardest assignment. He can be beaten at the point of attack, late in rotations, and physically overmatched by stronger wings. His scoring gives a bench life. His defense is why that role rarely grows into something bigger. Anfernee Simons is the modern microwave guard with a starter's workload and a specialist's imbalance. Portland has asked him to carry real offense, and he can do it. He scores around 20 a night, fires a huge share of his shots from three, and creates pull-up looks without needing every possession scripted for him. When his jumper is rolling, the defense has to chase him high above the arc, which opens lanes and creates secondary playmaking chances. But the defensive side has been a recurring warning label. At 6'2", he gives up size and switches struggles fighting through screens and does not create enough steals or blocks to offset the physical disadvantages. The numbers have often placed him near the bottom tier defensively, and Portland's team defense has usually felt the damage in long, ugly stretches against serious NBA lineups. Simons can power an offense for stretches. He just cannot protect the other half of the game when opponents attack him directly. Tony Allen made the league accept a strange bargain, almost no offense, but defensive violence every night. He averaged just 8.1 points and 1.3 assists for his career, and defenders often ignored him in the half-court because his shooting never scared anyone. Spacing got tighter when he was on the floor. Opponents helped off him without hesitation, but Memphis did not use him to fix offense. They used him to ruin yours. During the grit and grind era, Allen guarded elite guards and wings with relentless pressure, strong hands, and physical containment that made clean possessions feel uncomfortable. He fought through screens, disrupted timing, and turned isolation scorers into frustrated jump shooters. In playoff matchups, his role became even clearer. Take the hardest perimeter assignment and survive everything else. Tony Allen was not balanced. He was a defensive weapon so sharp that teams accepted the offensive damage. Lou Williams turned bench scoring into a permanent NBA identity. 3 Sixth Man of the Year awards do not happen by accident. They happen because a player can walk into a broken possession, take the ball, and create something before the offense completely dies. Lou lived in that space. Isolation pull-ups, foul baiting, late clock floaters, quick pick-and-roll reads. He gave second units a creator who could score like a starter without needing a starter's role. At his peak, he was dropping 20 points a night off the bench and making chaos look organized. But defensively, teams always knew where to attack. At 6'1", he was small and switches limited as a contest player and usually hidden on the weakest offensive threat. Lineups around him needed bigger wings and rim protection to cover the damage. Lou Williams was a bucket machine, but the other end was never part of the sales pitch. One-way players are not always failed players. Some became stars. Some became specialists. Some became problems coaches had to hide. But in the NBA, the truth is simple. If you dominate only one side, the other side eventually finds you.